Many NHL fans are surprised about some recent moves some Blackhawks players have made towards their international teams. We also have some Rockford IceHogs news, as many players and prospects from the Blackhawks have made their way to Rockford ahead of these playoffs. And we also have a final free agent target that the Blackhawks may decide to target and will be an excellent idea in this year's offseason. So we're going to be talking about all of that here in this video. Before we do, we notice that 78% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're looking for a spot to get all of your Chicago Blackhawks news, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button. Join us along here as we cover everything from the Chicago Blackhawks with a very exciting offseason coming up for this team. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into the first topic here, which is a fantastic move for the Chicago Blackhawks. And you're probably wondering what this is. Many people are very surprised about this move, actually, by the Blackhawks in their organizational players towards the World Championships coming up. And this comes from Ben Pope here, replying to a tweet, which I'll get to Ben Pope's first. Seth Jones says he and Alex Vlasic will both be playing for the USA in the World Championships this year. And Andy Strickland had to say that Connor Bedard will be playing for Canada, which I'm sure is not a surprise to many people. But Seth Jones and Alex Vlasic, two kind of surprising moves for the international team for the USA. Seth Jones more so a common one, but Alex Vlasic really earning his stars here and earning his stripes. Kind of works out in that way with the stars and stripes being on his chest in this one, but really just goes to show Alex Vlasic how good he's been this season for the Blackhawks, and to the surprise of many, him making the international team. Now, I do understand that a lot of people in the playoffs will not be playing in this tournament due to them being in the playoffs. When they get eliminated, they might go over, but this really shows to many people how good Alex Vlasic has been. So, Noah, what do you think about this move by Alex Vlasic heading to the World Championships for Team USA?
I'm looking at it from a developmental sort of standpoint. Obviously, Bedard as well, playing for Team Canada. But, I mean, Alex Vlasic's going to be in a room with a lot of NHL caliber players. Obviously, Seth Jones he's pretty familiar with. But there's some big names that aren't going to be in the playoffs, as you can see there from that tweet. You know, guys like Brady Tkachuk, Trevor Zegras, you know, players who've been in the league for a little while now who, you know, sort of know the game better. And, I mean, you look at Vlasic, I think he might have 200 career NHL games under his belt. So, I mean, it's really, really good for development. And even, like, sort of, I guess, Connor Bedard as well. Obviously, they're two really, really talented teams. And, I mean, if you're playing with really, really talented players, that's awesome for your development.
Yeah, Alex Vlasic just being one game over rookie eligibility. So it really goes to show the development in such a small amount of time. And like you said, this dressing room and this tournament is going to be packed with a lot of NHL players. And this is going to be a really good experience for him, being surrounded by these guys and having a lot of fun and learning and just being able to sit in on these conversations and really be able to take it all in for the future. And this is going to be something to watch. You know, the World Championship is always a very good tournament to watch, and especially a Blackhawks fan this year where they're not going to be in the playoffs. We got the Rockford IceHogs and the international tournament to be watching out for, looking out for, and being able to see the Blackhawks development. But speaking of the Rockford IceHogs, they are playoff ready. That is one thing that this team and this fan base can really look out for, as the Blackhawks have made a few moves recently to stack this team up ahead of the playoffs. Recently, this came out today, Nick Lardis and Paul Ludwinski will be joining the Rockford IceHogs for their upcoming playoffs. Lardis on an amateur tryout, Ludwinski on an entry-level deal with the Blackhawks. Two very big moves, two very good players heading down to Rockford. We also have this one here from a few days ago. Wyatt Kaiser was sent down to the IceHogs with Connor Murphy likely coming up at that point soon, which is three very big moves for this Rockford team heading towards the playoffs. One thing that I think this fan base should definitely pay attention to, a lot of the Blackhawks' future and small moves in the future, you know, the same way they made this year with Isaac Phillips and guys like him, being put up and down throughout the NHL over these next few seasons, will be in this tournament, will be on this team playing, with Rockford being third in the Central Division in the AHL. Not too much movement really up and down from Rockford in the rest of the divisions, apart from the Hershey Bears, who are probably, they are the best AHL team of all time. So I'm very excited to see what Rockford can do in these playoffs for the Calder Cup. And Noah, what do you think about the whole tournament along with the players they have acquired over these past few days?
Yeah, well, those two guys, I mean, Ludwinski and Lardis, I mean, they were both really, really good junior players. I think Lardis had 30 goals, I think, for Brantford. And Ludwinski had a really, really good playmaking season, if I'm not mistaken. He racked up a lot of assists. So you bring in those guys in an already really, really good Rockford team, you know, guys that are probably, you know, could see sort of NHL time next season. And you never know, you bring those guys in and they go on a run and you know, they're sort of hoping that translates to NHL, you know, caliber players. And they're looking at, they could be roster players next year for the Blackhawks. So, I mean, I'm kind of keeping a close watch on the Rockford during the playoffs this year for sure.
No, yeah, absolutely. The playoffs, regardless of whether it's NHL, AHL, any other league, is definitely a next level opportunity for many players. Many eyes are going to be on them, and it's really going to be a lot more pressure, high chance opportunities, and just a more competitive game in the AHL even. Along with the NHL and whatever other sport. So this is going to be a really good opportunity to show what these guys can do under pressure, what they can do with all the spotlight and the eyes on them, and really show this team, this management, as well as the roster, that they want a chance on this team next year to see what they can do. Prove a point to management that they are maybe not the favorites, but they are definitely going to be a great option to see ahead of next season, whether they make any moves in free agency or not, which we have a potential target from the Blackhawks here, one that the Hockey News, the article, have really pointed out, and it makes me think that this could be a very big possibility and an interesting one for the Blackhawks if they do decide to make a move similar to this. And that player, in fact, is Tayler Bertuzzi. While Bertuzzi has had a shaky season, Sneaky also works in that sense of the imagination. He's improved down the stretch and is a legitimate top 6 winger when performing at his best. Besides Bertuzzi's solid offensive production, his gritty style of play also makes him effective. Because of this, he would be a big-time addition for the Blackhawks roster. And this is one thing that really made me think about what this could be, what this team could be, what this team could turn into if they do sign a guy like Tayler Bertuzzi. One thing they've really been lacking this season was these, after Corey Perry, I guess you could say, was the grittiness on the offense. One thing that really did not help this team, really did not help this roster, was the loss of Corey Perry, having that guardian angel for Connor Bedard. And Tayler Bertuzzi, with his offensive ability, with everything else, would be a fantastic opportunity. So, Noah, what do you think about a guy like Tayler Bertuzzi, and let's just say him in specific, joining this team to be a nuisance around the net and around the other team? I guess you could say. What do you think about that? Let's just get it to the point.
I love it. I mean, I'm a big fan of the sort of sandpaper edition, I guess. I mean, but if you look at a guy like Nick Foligno this year, who's sort of kind of, again, had a little bit of a sneaky year, obviously was brought in for the sole reason to be Bedard's protector, his guardian angel, as you said. And I think Tayler Bertuzzi could kind of fit that role. I mean, I'm curious what his AAV would be and all that sort of thing. But, I mean, this year I think he's got like 20 goals or something, on
21.
The lead score. Yeah, 21. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, for a guy who's, going to get in fights and stick up for your teammates. So, I mean, I'd probably chuck $5 million at him, to be completely honest with you. I mean, 20-goal scorer, sticks up for your teammates, does all the dirty work. I'd chuck 5 at him, no problem.
Yeah, let's keep in mind as well, the Blackhawks have around $30 million to spend. They're not going to be spending this for another 2 years, so they can really do what they want to do. Kind of the same situation they did with Nick Foligno, Corey Perry, signing that $4 million deal for 2 seasons. It's going to be one that I think could certainly help this team, especially down the stretch in helping Connor Bedard, whether it be on his wing, whether it be on the power play with him. And from his stats, he's shown he's been capable of scoring, as well as being that physical presence that teams really hate to play against. So I do think Tayler Bertuzzi is a perfect option for this team. As always, we'll be getting very much down to this kind of stuff, the free agency aspect down the stretch here after these playoffs and during these playoffs when the Blackhawks aren't in. So it's going to be a very exciting time for the Blackhawks to see what they do, and you're not going to want to miss any news that we have to bring you guys surrounding this team. So make sure to hit the sub button if you do want to check all of that out. But that's all we got here in this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to give it a like. Hit the sub button as well if you did want to see all of this Blackhawks news. A lot of stuff coming. Very exciting for the Blackhawks and the Rockford IceHogs down here. So make sure to hit the sub button. But like I said, that's all we got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.